Hey everyone, in this video we're looking at some of the interesting stories in music tech from the past week or so. Generally stuff that I want to cover, but it's not enough for a full dedicated video. And there are also some dope free plugins that we'll look into, like Splice's new free instrument, which seems to generate some negative reactions for some reason. So we'll have a look at a nice alternative, free alternative as well, if Splice isn't your thing. But first, Ableton have added the option to get Live 12 Suite on a rent-to-own plan, so you get access to the full software immediately, but payments are spread over 24 months. And this is great, actually, a very consumer-friendly approach from them, because unlike subscriptions that are seemingly everywhere these days, after 24 months, you stop paying and you actually own the full license. And you can pause and resume at any time without any penalties or additional fees. And yes, there are some limitations of this plan. First of all, this works only for Live 12 Suite license, so it doesn't work for standard or intro and doesn't work for updates and upgrades. But the good thing is there is no markup, so over the 24 months you pay the same price as you would for a regular license. But if so happens that they release Live 13 while you are still on the plan, you can extend the plan to cover the cost of the upgrade, if you want. So this is a great option if you can't afford to pay the full price at once. And the rent-to-own plan also applies for educational licenses. Actually, this has been available for a while now, I think. But if you're not eligible for an educational license, the most cost-effective way to get a live license would be to wait until Black Friday. They usually have discounts like around 25%. Okay, so we have an update to the MicroKORG 2, and it's a pretty big update. The Korg have released firmware 2.0 and it adds the Log SDK 2.0 engine, which enables users to add additional oscillators and effects, which expands the capabilities of the MicroKORG 2 by quite a lot. This engine was previously available on Korg NTS-1, Mark II, NTS-3 and Drumlog. And they've collabed with developer Sine Vibes, who have updated 15 of their existing effects to work with MicroKORG 2. But it's not like you can load any existing Log SDK oscillators or effects. They need to be adapted to specifically work on the MicroKORG 2, so that's a bit of a downer. And from looking at their website, actually none of their oscillators work with MicroKORG 2. Maybe they will update them in the future, or maybe there are other places where you can download new oscillators. I honestly have no idea. And I considered doing a full video on this, as I do have the MicroKORG 2 here with me. However, unfortunately, there isn't really all that much interesting stuff to show off, as you only get 2 free effects that you'll be able to download from Sine Vibes, and these are even not available to download yet at the time I'm publishing this video. And you also get 2 new oscillators that come pre-installed on the synth. So to take full advantage of the update, you have to buy some of the paid effects from Sine Vibes, and honestly I don't think it's worth it for me. I'm actually more interested in the oscillators. Other new features in this 2.0 firmware are the ability to use oscillator 3 as an LFO. They've also added a split function to the keyboard, so you can put 2 different sounds in different key ranges. And the loop recorder now has step recording and also an option to slice your recordings, where different parts of the recording are assigned to separate keys, so essentially you can chop it up and play it in different order. I also have a full review of the MicroKORG 2 that I posted like last year, and you can check it out from the link in the video description down below. So some of you probably know about Splice's new free instrument. It came out about a week ago, but there seems to be some negativity around it because they've essentially repackaged Spitfire Audio's Labs instruments in this plugin. So Splice acquired Spitfire Audio earlier this year, and this, I think, is the first outcome of their acquisition. But why are there so many negative comments? I'm genuinely curious. I'm not really sure what the problem is here. I would love it if someone explains it down in the comment section. Does Splice have a bad reputation for some reason? I genuinely have no idea. instrument. So the quality of the instrument is pretty good. To just filter from the free instruments, because they obviously have paid ones as well, you click on the search field and just choose the free tag to only have the free instruments show on your screen. Because obviously, like most free offerings, it's not really the complete package of all the useful sound that you need. You will have to purchase some of the paid packs to create a complete library. So yeah, the whole thing is just a way for them to get you to sign up and promote their paid stuff. But that's pretty much the goal for most free plugin offerings. Like, it's pretty normal, so I don't see a problem here. But yeah, I mean, if you feel some type of way about Splice and don't want to engage with their free offering, there's another company called Fracture Sounds, and they specialize in acoustic instruments, and they have a big collection of free libraries as well. Okay, not as big as the Splice instrument, but it's still quite decent, and it's called Blueprint. And these are NKS compatible instruments, and they work in Contact 8 players, so you don't need the full Contact. And yeah, I actually found their offerings to be very high quality, and you do have to make an account with them, and they provide you with serials that you have to register in native access. And the libraries are also downloaded through native access. Some really good stuff, definitely worth checking out. They have brass, pianos, bass, strings. I actually think these are better than the Splice offerings, to be honest. Some nice music box stuff. Man, the Epic Grand is pretty cool. And I'm sure free reverb plugins are no longer something impressive, there are too much of them. But this one really does something new, and this is Temperance Light by Eventide. And they call it the world's first musical reverb. Unlike traditional algorithmic or convolution reverb, Temperance Light lets you control reverb resonances using the familiar 12-note chromatic scale. This allows you to choose which notes bloom or wither with your chosen space, creating musical ambiances that were previously unattainable. This reverb resonates at the frequencies corresponding to certain notes, and you can set which notes these are, so you can create tones and chords actually from the reverb that match the key of your track, and I think it's pretty awesome. However, I think Eventide maybe dropped the ball here a bit, because for me this plugin doesn't work in Ableton Live. It just doesn't appear in the plugin list, which makes no sense because they say it's compatible with Live. But fortunately it worked in Machine, so here's how it sounds. So here are my dry drums. And I've only left the notes E, G, B, and D, which is the E minor 7 chord, to resonate. So when I add the reverb, and if you don't want this tonal effect, you can just tone it down here with the tempo knob, and it's gonna sound pretty much like a regular reverb. And so everything mentioned in the video will be linked in the description down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't, and catch you in the next one.